America is the world's largest oil producer. Yet even the US president can't move without Saudi Arabia's approval. Why is the richest country on Earth still dependent on a desert kingdom thousands of miles away? The answer will shock you. Why did Saudi Arabia give Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner a $2 billion investment in 2020 despite Trump losing the election? Everyone knows that Silicon Valley is America's biggest startup hub, but very few people know that its largest investor is Saudi Arabia. Before starting the video, once again we request you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We work very hard to make these videos, but because many subscribers are not active, the reach of many videos is reduced. So please, if you want to keep watching such quality content, subscribe and support us. For many decades, America and Saudi Arabia have had a powerful and strategic relationship, in which America provided military protection to Saudi Arabia, and in return, Saudi Arabia supplied oil. This relationship began in the 20th century when the two countries started cooperating for mutual benefit. At that time, Saudi Arabia was a poor country cut off from the rest of the world. Its economy mostly survived from the Muslims who came for Hajj and Umrah. But then, everything changed in 1933, when Saudi King Abdulaziz bin Saud signed an agreement with an American company, Standard Oil of California. This company was given the rights to explore oil in Saudi Arabia. After years of searching, in 1938, major oil reserves were discovered near the city of Dammam close to Dhahran, Eastern Province. Overnight, Saudi Arabia transformed from a desert kingdom into one of the world's biggest oil producers. To manage this oil production and export, Standard Oil collaborated with other American companies like Chevron and Exxon. Both countries benefited. Saudi Arabia exported oil, while America helped develop Saudi infrastructure and economy. During World War II, oil became the most important resource. The US and its allies needed a consistent oil supply to run military vehicles, ships, and aircraft. Saudi oil reserves thus became critical for the Allies. That's when America realized that Middle Eastern oil wasn't just about business, it was a matter of national security. In 1943, President Franklin D. Roosevelt declared Saudi Arabia vital for US defense. 2 years later, in 1945, Roosevelt personally met King Abdulaziz on the USS Quincy, where they signed a historic agreement. The US would provide Saudi Arabia with military protection, and Saudi Arabia would supply oil to America and its allies. During the Cold War 1950 to 1990, Saudi Arabia became a key US ally against Soviet influence in the Middle East. But in 1973, when Saudi Arabia leading OPEC imposed an oil embargo on Western nations for supporting Israel, global oil markets crashed and US-Saudi relations soured. To fix relations, in 1974 the Petrodollar agreement was signed. Saudi Arabia agreed to sell oil only in US dollars. This meant any country buying oil first had to convert its currency into dollars, hugely increasing global demand for the dollar. In exchange, America provided military protection and economic support. This deal made the US dollar the world's strongest currency and turned America into the global financial superpower for Saudi Arabia. It guaranteed US military backing and made it a central player in global geopolitics. Saudi Arabia's geographic importance added to this. Positioned at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, surrounded by unstable regions and with strategic waterways on both sides, the Persian Gulf to the east and the Red Sea to the west, it became indispensable. To the east, the Persian Gulf, where Iran repeatedly threatens to block the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil passes. To the west, the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb Strait, through which 12% of world trade flows. Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen have attacked US and Israeli ships here multiple times. To the north, Iraq and Jordan, both critical to US Middle East strategy. Because of these choke points, if Saudi Arabia is destabilized, the entire global energy and trade system collapses. In 1990, when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, Saudi Arabia feared Iraq's army at its doorstep. It asked America for protection, leading to Operation Desert Shield. 500,000 U.S. troops were deployed to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf. After liberating Kuwait in Desert Storm, the U.S. also established permanent military bases in Saudi Arabia. Relations hit a rough patch after 9/11 when 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi nationals, but instead of breaking ties, both countries became partners in the War on Terror in 2003. America invaded Iraq, and while Saudi Arabia did not openly support it, it secretly gave intelligence, airspace, and logistics to the U.S. Under Obama, relations soured again over human rights, the Yemen war, and especially the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which Saudi Arabia. But in 2017, when Donald Trump became president, U.S.-Saudi ties dramatically strengthened. He vetoed Congress' attempt to block Saudi military support. He withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. He signed a $110 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia, the largest ever U.S.-Saudi arms sale. This explains why Trump favors Saudi Arabia so much. The relationship is not only strategic, it's deeply financial and personal. At a UFC event in November 2024, Trump was seen with Elon Musk, Dana White, and a Saudi man named Yasir Al-Rumayyan. Rumayyan is the head of Saudi Arabia's $930 billion public investment fund PIF, one of the world's most powerful sovereign wealth funds. This fund invests in global tech, sports, real estate, and even Trump-linked ventures. His presence at that UFC event symbolized Saudi Arabia's deep connections with Trump's political and business empire.
Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner also played a key role. During Trump's presidency, Kushner built very close ties with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman MBS. After Trump lost in 2020, MBS approved a $2 billion investment into Kushner's new fund even though Kushner had little experience in asset management. Some Saudi officials objected, but MBS personally pushed it through. Analysts say it wasn't just a business deal, it was a reward for loyalty and a way to keep influence in U.S. politics. Saudi Arabia has also directly spent millions at Trump's hotels, golf courses, and properties. For example, in 2016-17, Saudi lobbyists booked 500 nights at Trump's D.C. hotel. In 2022, Saudi-backed live golf tournaments were hosted at Trump golf courses. Trump himself once said publicly, "Saudi Arabia buys my apartments. How can I dislike them? I love them." Beyond Trump, Saudi Arabia has been investing heavily in sports, media, and technology as part of its global image makeover strategy, often called sportswashing. They now own or sponsor Newcastle United, English Premier League, Live Golf, Formula 1, Aston Martin team, major tennis, boxing, MMA, wrestling, cycling, and esports tournament. Saudi Arabia has even secured the rights to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup. It is also investing massively in technology, AI, and U.S. startups, including stakes in Uber, Twitter, now X, and many Silicon Valley firms. The bottom line, America may produce more oil than anyone else, but global oil prices are controlled by OPEC and Saudi Arabia leads OPEC. If Saudi Arabia cuts production, oil prices rise worldwide. That's why even the U.S. has to negotiate with Riyadh. After Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, when oil prices surged, America had to ask Saudi Arabia to increase output to stabilize markets. So no matter what happens, America still needs Saudi Arabia, and with Trump's return, U.S.-Saudi ties could once again reshape Middle Eastern geopolitics, either bringing stability or sparking new conflicts. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and suggest more topics in the comments. See you in the next video with another interesting subject. Take care. Goodbye.